Hi, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer, host of Best of Us Investors. This video is going to air on Tuesday morning, and we'll put it out. And we've just finished a three-day weekend, and we've had some time to reflect on what's happened over the last 2 months and how we've reacted to it. And I posted this picture of myself with the words, investing in the stock market requires endurance. And I've been giving that a lot of thought. Put that up on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook, because I think you need to recognize it does take endurance because the market changes and things change. And I think a realization that I've had in the last couple of weeks is that the variable is you. It's not Wall Street. Wall Street, maybe they manipulate the market at some point, but the variable is you. The amateur investor who comes in and says, I'm going to make a quick buck here, and I understand this, and I have access to some people through YouTube who have never been through a market crash, and I'm going to take their advice and I'm going to make some easy money. And as a result of you, that happens every once in a while. As an example, the stock market in the dot-com bubble, over-exuberance, over-excitement about the new revolution of the digital economy and the internet, and you came into the market, and a younger version or an older version, I guess, of you came into the market and drove it to unrealistic expectations. And then when the world woke up and said, this isn't real, the market crashed, and that was the dot-com bubble. Again, then probably about 8 years later, you got into the real estate business because the banking system started giving money away with no qualifications, and you went out and bought a bunch of real estate that you couldn't pay for. And the stock market realized it, the banking system realized that you put them in jeopardy, and the market crashed. So that's how it happens. And then again, we get to the coronavirus, and the government starts a free money program, and you take the free money and start bidding up the prices on whatever you think is hot and new, like Tesla and like Workhorse and crazy stocks. And then the market reacts, like to say, the greedy market reacts and says, these people have so much money because the government put $9 trillion into the market. Why don't we throw some shit at them that they can buy? And you bought it, and now you are suffering the consequences. So with that in mind, I want to share with you what I think you should do to get out of this and come forward. And again, I want to show you my meme that I put up Sunday that says, investing in the stock market requires endurance. This is not financial advice.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
When my son was in high school, in junior high school, he went out for cross country. I was amazed that roughly 92 young junior high, I guess ninth graders, showed up for cross country, both male and female, and their coach put them through the ringer. That was in ninth grade. When Trent graduated from high school as a senior on the cross country team, there were 5 participants. Cross country takes endurance, not only the fact that you're running a 5K, and it requires a lot of endurance. But more importantly, it requires the commitment that I'm going to continue to do this. In the real world, the individual who sticks to it 99% of the time wins, particularly if he educates himself along the way. I ask in this headline, are you ready to quit on the stock market? I'm going to tell you that the majority of you are. You've got beaten up. You've followed the advice of some people who, when the dot-com bubble occurred, were 10 years old. So they didn't really experience it. When the subprime crisis occurred 8 years later, they were 18 years old. Were they paying attention to the stock market and learn from it? No, they did not experience it. Some of them that I truly admire, two of them in particular, went out and made a career in real estate. One of them didn't even go to college. He couldn't get accepted, but he got hired on real estate and made a fortune out of it because he had endurance. He educated himself and he had endurance. And then he went and shared that knowledge of real estate over YouTube. And then as a result of that, got into the making predictions in the stock market as well. Another one who is son of a immigrant did the same thing and created a tremendous channel. He has a phenomenal personality, but he has never experienced what we're going through now. And I don't watch these people anymore because I used to, because they had mastered the art of YouTube. But as far as the art of investing, they're clueless. One of them, as I said, I am told, because I don't watch them, actually went to cash in the last couple of weeks. And I am told, and I can see from a service that I have, that you all are deserting them in droves, that their unsubscribes are just overwhelming them. That's because you don't have endurance. You don't have the knowledge to say, this has happened before, and we've always come out of it, and you don't really understand why it happened. Let me again share with you the chart that I did on fear. I put this out last week. This is a chart of the S&P or the QQQs from 2000 through today. And fear has driven the market, as I explained, in the dot-com bubble, in the subprime crisis, and now again. And that fear is that I'm losing everything that I've acquired. Well, what you don't realize is what you acquired was as a result of the foolishness. Well, I don't know if it was foolish, but the actions of our government that pumped $9 trillion into the marketplace through relief programs directed both at business and individual, and that money had to go somewhere. And where it went was to the stock market. Many of you were isolated at home, and you saw this money flowing into the stock market and saw the prices of your favorite stocks like Tesla and Palantir and Google and Amazon going up and up and up. And you said, I need to get into that. And you did. And you drove the market up. And now, when the market goes down, you're panicking. You're quitting. Just like the most of the people on the cross-country team that my son was on quit. This is too hard. This requires me to work, to learn, to educate myself, to figure this out. I no longer can rely on some 28-year-olds to tell me where to invest my money. So I'm getting out. I'm licking my wounds and saying, they're stupid and I'm getting out. Well, no, they're not the stupid one. They gave you the information that they had based on their knowledge. And you took it and then didn't add to it. YouTube should not be considered the end result. It should not be considered the place that you go to find out what to invest in. What it should be considered is as a modern day marvel that you can share the knowledge of other people, learn from it, add to it from your own knowledge, hopefully by reading books written by people like Warren Buffett and Elon Musk and very smart people, and learning so that you can make a sound financial decision, not based on someone else's opinion, but on your educated opinion. If you will do that, if you will just consider YouTube as one of the tools that you can use. This chart that I gave you, I didn't have this when I was a financial advisor. I didn't have the ability to create something like that because TradingView was not around. I did not have the ability to go to Seeking Alpha and read other people's analysis and access actually recordings of the companies that I'm interested in, delivery of their quarterly reports, and hear and listen to the CEOs of companies. These are tools that I use to help me make good financial decisions. Now, am I down on the market? Yes, I am. Am I bailing out? No, I'm not, because I know that we are going to go through a healthcare revolution. I know that the leaders of this world, whether they be doctors or politicians, sat down and said, this can never happen again, much as World War II. This can never happen again. And every bit of their talents and skills are going to be channeled towards making sure another virus doesn't come and kill more people than heart disease or cancer in a year's time, or isolate us. I haven't been on a vacation where I visited anybody that I didn't know for 2 years. This is unheard of. This can never happen again. So knowing that, and having read about genome sequencing and genome editing and understanding that the cures for this vaccine, or for this pandemic, came as a result of genome sequencing and genome and protein editing and artificial intelligence being used to find the vaccine cure, I know that a healthcare revolution is coming. So I'm not worried that the stocks that I have aren't going to survive this. I know that our supply chain is broken and it has put our country in a very unsafe position, that we could be brought to our knees just because we can't produce masks. Don't have one in this coat pocket. But as a result of that, our country was put into jeopardy. That has to change. We gave all our manufacturing to China, and we have put ourselves into a position to become a secondary power on an economic and a social and military basis. We have put ourselves in that position, and we have to correct it. So I know that these stocks that I have invested in that are going to create 3D printing and robotics and artificial intelligence are going to come back. And I also know the problems I'm having right now in the depreciation of the value of my stocks is not the problem of the companies. It was created by you when you got all that free money and jumped in and acted like a little girl in a candy store with all the money that she had. You created this problem. And now you are deserting the game because you don't have endurance. Okay? I will become a multi-millionaire because I have endurance. I'm 77 years old and I make a video every day. I can outlast you. I don't care if you're 27, 37, 57. I can outlast you. Why? Because I've been here before. I know what's going to happen. I have endurance and I have self-confidence. Why do I have self-confidence? Because I read every day. I educate myself. 98% of you have not read a nonfiction book since you graduated from your last level of education. You don't know what the hell's going on in this world. You don't understand genome sequencing. You don't understand genome editing. And you don't understand artificial intelligence. I do. That gives me an advantage. When you add to that, I've been here before. I've seen this happen before. I've seen this over-exuberance created by people who don't know what the hell they're doing. And then, when the correction comes, they ask the question, why is this happening? What's going to happen next? I know what's going to happen next. Do you? Go get a book and read it. I don't care what it is. Educate yourself. Wealth is not stored in your wallet. It's stored in your brain. It's called knowledge. Talk to you again tomorrow.